these are pretty tough penalties. How's the government justifying them?
Yeah, that's right. Health Minister Greg Hunt announced these really stringent penalties at the weekend. It's a $66,000 fine, a jail term of 5 years, or both. Now, the government's saying it needs to act because there's concern that the quarantine system could buckle under the pressure of infected travellers returning to the country. If you remember, Australia closed its borders to non-residents over a year ago now, March last year, and anyone returning home has to isolate in a hotel for 14 days and return a negative test. The system's been pretty successful, but it's not watertight, and there have been multiple instances of security guards and cleaners, even guests at the hotels becoming infected during their 14-day stay, and then spreading the virus back into the community. So the government says it needs to ban these flights from India, where there are so many infections at the moment, to alleviate pressure on the quarantine system.
What's been the response to an outright ban?
Well, the main opposition Labour Party's been really critical already. It says it wouldn't be necessary if the vaccine rollout was proceeding more smoothly here. It's saying the government's got off to a really slow start. We've had about 2 million doses administered so far, so it is running behind schedule, and there are fears that it could take into the first quarter of next year even for everyone in Australia to have their second dose. There are also demands for a better quarantine system. Western Australia, for instance, says that hotels just aren't fit for purpose, and they're demanding that federal facilities such as unused mining camps or remote army facilities be used instead. And there are also questions as to whether or not the government indeed has the constitutional powers to ban its own citizens from returning to the country, even under the emergency provisions that are included in the Biosecurity Act.
So, Ed, are these the reasons the government's taking this approach? Because we've also had the news today that the rollout of the vaccination program's getting sped up.
The government is trying to turn the vaccination program around, but there's no doubt that they are on the back foot. They've been hit by vaccine nationalism out of Europe, which has delayed delivery of the AstraZeneca vaccine from Europe. Some 3 million shots there haven't been delivered. They've also had issues with the blood clotting issue that's caused other countries as well to advise against giving the vaccine to people aged under 50 in Australia's case. In the UK, it was aged under 30, I believe. But yeah, all of these issues compounding to prompt the government to take this action with the ban out of flights out of India.